You are listening to the Retina UK Talking Tech Peer Support Group meeting recorded Thursday, the 16th of November 2023.
Hello and good evening to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for sadly our last Talking Tech Peer Support Group meeting from Retina UK for 2023. But don't worry, we will be back in January and I will be posting the date of our January meeting in the follow-up email that will come out after this meeting a couple of days after. I do really appreciate you coming along. We've had quite a new people come along, so welcome if you're new to the group, and always welcome to people that are returning as well. Your support is much appreciated, your advice, your tips and your hints. Our last meeting, we focused around tech that we use in our everyday lives that features artificial intelligence. And it seems to be quite a hot topic at the moment. AI is used in lots of devices around us, anything from your smart assistant to app phone to AI in the medical world. And I will actually pick up that topic and focus on that a little bit later on in tonight's meeting. I wanted to kick off tonight's meeting with the app that we discussed last meeting, which was the Be My AI function within the Be My Eyes app. I understand in September it was still in its beta phases, and we had some really good advice and reviews from many here this evening. But I would like to know if anyone else has got this app, tried this app out. I now know that it's not in its beta phase anymore on the iOS and iPhone. It's now available for anyone to use if you've got the Be My Eyes app. If you are using Android, I've noticed that that is still in its beta phase and you can still sign up to register the beta version if you use Samsung or a Google phone. So I would just like to kick off. Has anyone used this app? I had a play around with this app today and we was actually blown away with it. It was really intuitive. It was very precise and it actually described quite a lot, and we were actually both quite blown away. So has anyone actually used this app, and how well has it kind of changed the way that you do things day to day? And if you've got any kind of negatives about it, it's not all about the positives, it's the negatives as well. Be honest. So Jonathan, hi Jonathan, do you want to kick off the show? Welcome.
Yeah, hi Mark, thank you, and thank you for putting these meetings together. They're brilliant, and it's always a pleasure to hear and chat about these things. Funnily enough, I used Be My AI today, and it was in a fairly mundane sort of thing. I wanted to wrap up a present and I needed to check on the wrapping paper. So I had a few rolls of wrapping paper and I put them out, used Be My AI, and the one I wanted was a colorful one. I held it above, I got it right first time, and it said that it was a piece of paper with colors going from purple on the one side through, and it gave me a whole description of the colors ending up in yellow on the other side. And I thought that that was really brilliant. I have used it to get a description of a photo that I've taken of some scenery and stuff like that. So it is good. And I think the thing that I think about with the Be My AI, and this is not a negative, but it's just a thought, is the whole thing about Be My Eyes is the community. And for instance, when I went to visit my mother in South Africa earlier this year, every evening I would take whatever banknotes I had in my wallet, put them on the bed, use Be My Eyes, and ask a volunteer to help me sort the notes into the correct order so that I knew what I had in my wallet for the next day. And every time I've spoken to someone on Be My Eyes, I've always ended up with a thank you and telling them where in the world I am and asking them where they are. I don't want to lose out on that. So I think I will use Be My AI, but I think I'll keep using Be My Eyes with volunteers because it's fun and they're there waiting. And I think they're just so wonderful doing what they do.
It's a very engaging platform when obviously we liaise with volunteers all the time. We can't do what we do at Retina UK without our amazing volunteers. And this app is testament to that. It's functioning, with the support of all of these volunteers all the way around the world. I think it is a fantastic platform, and support for us to keep our independence. And you mentioned wrapping paper and colours. That was one thing that I thought absolutely superb, because it picked out every single colour on our rug. Took a photograph of the dog. Even the colour of the dog's bed to birthday card actually up on the side. And it even read out what's on the front of one of the birthday cards because it could see it clearly. It's I think it's something that's going to really change the way that we perceive photographs and, it's like you say, scenery, etc. So thanks very much for your input. So, everyone that's using it, please don't forget the Be My Eyes function as well. It's really good.
Just to finish, Mark, the one thing that is incredible with it is that you can interrogate it for more questions. So if you think about the photo you took of your carpet, you could have asked it any question about the whole thing in there, and it would give you more details, which is astounding.
Very intuitive. But John next. Parker.
Hello, hi. Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't make the last AI, the tech meeting about AI. I was on holiday, so I listened to the YouTube channel, and then immediately downloaded the app while I was still listening.
Excellent.
And I've been playing with it ever since. It's most wonderful thing. It just blew me away. So I've just been testing it out wherever I can, family gatherings, outside, and the detail is just, well, it's phenomenal, isn't it? It's just the level of detail in the surroundings and to some distance sometimes as well. So yeah, thoroughly recommend it. I haven't used the contacting the volunteer, but I have been using the AI part, and it was, I was like you, I was blown away by the level of sophistication of what I was being told and the details. So yeah, thoroughly recommend it. Thoroughly, if you haven't got it.
Excellent. If anyone hasn't downloaded the Be My Eyes app, or had chance to use this new function, especially on the iPhone, what we will do is we'll pop it in the comments box, and also we'll put direct links to the iStore, so you can see for yourself, and any kind of testimonials as well of what people think of this app as well. So have we got any other?
Yeah, Scott's next.
Scott. Hi, Scott.
Hello. I agree with what has been said, and also I have used Be My Eyes volunteers all over the world, really. Got South Africa from the gentleman who first called, the young lady there, Devon, Sudbury, Ontario, which was interesting because I'm a Canadian, of course. But the one thing I would like to say, the colors, again, are fantastic. But the handwriting, I got a birthday card today. I have an upcoming birthday, and the handwriting, I said it last time, and this person's handwriting is not, self-admittedly, she said, not great. It read it exactly the way she wrote it. So that's something that Seeing AI used to have, but it was okay. And I'm not knocking Seeing AI. It still has some great features, and their AI is really picked up as well. But for handwriting, if you ever get a card, it'll read the hard text, but it also will give you a description of any cartoons or what's on your card. But it does read now, and pretty well. So far, it's been absolutely accurate as to what it's saying and what they've written. So,
sorry, it's Linda here. I do have my hand up. Can you?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, you're next. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure what the name of that app is. Is it Be My AI?
No, the app. Yeah, the app is called Be My Eyes, but what they've done, the creators of Be My Eyes have actually they've launched a new feature which is at the bottom. It's a new tab, it's a new feature, which has recently been launched. It's been beta tested for pretty much most of this year, so you can sign up and sign up for the beta version. But now on the iPhone, they've just launched the actual proper version now, so anyone can go in and use this feature. So if you've got an iPhone and you're using Be My Eyes, it will be at the very bottom. Now,
so I go into Be My Eyes, do I?
Yeah.
I go into that app, and that's where I'll find the new version.
Yeah,
of,
it should be at the bottom. It should be at the bottom. There's three tabs.
No, there was more than that.
More tabs. But Scott, you might be or someone might be the best person. If you've got the old version of the app before Be My AI was launched, would you need to uninstall it and reinstall it just to make sure you get that feature, or will it automatically appear if you've already got the existing app? Because I
did the beta test. So which if anyone doesn't know, beta testing is really testing the app before they launch it for everyone, just in case, because I didn't know that way back when, but I know now. So they allow you to test the product for them, and once they feel it's up to date, they launch it for everyone. And any of us could have signed up for it. I just happened to, someone told me about it. So on the old app, you launched the Be My Eyes, but it didn't have the AI yet. So now when you launch it, the AI, well, mine goes directly to the AI. They'll give you options on the screen to, I was going to say phone a friend, but that's basically phone a volunteer. And I recommend doing so as well. There's over 5 million. And it's nice to, some people aren't as friendly, but most, they just want to do the job, but most want to, you know, where are you? I always ask where they are, get a name, and, you know, find out where my white cane is if I've misplaced it or if someone's moved it on me or whatever I need. But so that's basically it. You'll get two, when you launch the app, you'll get two options, phone a volunteer or Be My AI, Be My Eyes AI, which will direct you.
You've got, I see. So
there is more. There is more though, Scott. You also have specialized help. So one of the other things as well worth noting, particularly for any new users, sorry, it's Harry speaking, is that you've got a specialized section which gets you through to all sorts of very useful things. For example, the technical support will give you a free call through to Microsoft if you're having trouble with your computer, for example. They can enable, it's just a free call through over the internet to Microsoft, and they're open 24 hours a day. And there's a whole myriad of others. So it's well worth having explore around the place. I'll mute again.
And that's just been launched, as Harry said, the helpline, which is a key. You know, now you've got to realize when you're using these apps, I wouldn't do secure banking information, etc. There are some other apps out there that the people are vetted and they have to go through a security check, and it's actually a paid app, and it's slipping my mind now, but maybe Mark or something else. Ira, thank you. Yeah, I don't use Ira because I have a lovely wife that if I really need some secure banking stuff done, I use her eyes. So just be careful of that.
It does actually say when you install it for the first time and you actually use Be My AI for the first time, it does actually say, you know, don't use it for secure documents and don't use it for this and don't use it for that. So they give you plenty of what you actually use this app for to protect your identity and protect your personal.
And if you're ever unsure of an app, don't do it until you are sure. Find someone that does know, like Mark just explained. Find out from someone that is sure about the app or can read the app. And if you don't understand the security on it, you know, just don't do it. It's like the new scams out there. If you're not sure, don't push on the button. Find out from someone. It's not that important. You know, If any of you ever get those life, oh, I'm kidnapped, blah, blah. No, they're not. That's not going to come through an email. But believe it or not, those are out there. You know, I need $1,500. I need. So again, my recommendation for anything, if you're not sure, don't push on the button until you are sure.
We've got Mahmood next. Hi, Mahmood. You're muted. I think you're muted.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm just struggling to
No
find it.
worries.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's been very interesting. You know, I think I mentioned last time I'm a bit of a tech phobe, so I only just realised how to do the hand function. For the first time I think I've ever done it. So yeah, so I'm pleased with myself there. So yeah, no, this seeing. Oh, sorry. Be My AI sounds great. I've got Be My Eyes. It's been absolutely brilliant over the last few years, especially living alone. It's been absolutely great during lockdown. But this get the See My Eyes and Be My AI sounds fantastic. I'm definitely going to have a look at it. I didn't realize it was actually currently available, although I have got the app. So I'm going to definitely. One question I wanted to ask for anyone who is using it is how good is it at reading? Sorry if this has also been answered, because I think I missed a couple of minutes, literally a couple of minutes. So I apologize if it has been answered. But how good is it at reading letters and also like maybe a page or two of a book, or in theory a book in itself? But even if it could just read articles or some letters, because what I found is with Be My Eyes is that sometimes I have asked people to read letters, not bank statements and things, but non-confidential. Sometimes it's been fine, but then at times volunteers have said, oh, we're struggling to see it. It's sort of grainy and something to do with the pixels and something, maybe the Wi-Fi's dropped. So I've not really been that impressed with letters. So I don't really ring them for letters anymore. So just wondering if this Be My AI would do a better job with letters and maybe a page or two of a book. And also linked to that, how would you sort of position the camera? Because with the person, the real volunteer, they would actually say, put your camera left, up, down, left, right. How would you do that with Be My AI? That'd be great. I'll just mute myself as well.
Has anyone would like to answer? Anyone that hasn't sort of in or said anything? Anyone that's used Be My AI for this? Anyone would like to chip in?
Mark, it's Jonathan.
Yeah, go on in, Jonathan.
Unless there's someone who hasn't spoken and would like to go.
Hands up.
No, Intisal's got his hand up, but I don't know if that was from before.
No, you can carry on, Jonathan.
Okay. With reading documents or letters or anything like that, you're right. Positioning it, I haven't tried it with the Be My AI, but Seeing AI has got a document feature in it. So the other app called Seeing AI. And when you have it in document mode, when you hold it over the piece of paper, it'll tell you that it'll say left edge not visible, for example. So you'll know to move a little bit to the left, and it then says hold steady, and it takes a photo and recognizes the writing on it and will read it out to you. So there's that as well. But I'm sure that if you sort of hold your phone above the paper or the book that you're trying to use with Be My AI and take the photo, it'll probably do a pretty good job with that as well.
There is also a function, and I never knew. Is it an iPhone that you're using, Mahmood?
Yeah, nothing too fancy. It's a few years old. I think it's the 2020 SE. Don't know if that makes sense.
So I think, I'm not sure whether they've actually added this since, but my brother said to me, within Notes, I think there is a function where you can actually, if they've taken a photograph of a document you want to read out, it will actually scan it. So when you hold your phone over it and you press the scan button, it will, like a line comes down, it looking like it's scanning the document, and then it will convert that document into a PDF. And then you can actually then use, whether you've got voiceover or the swipe down speech function, to actually read out the document as well. And he says he swear-bys that. Instead of constantly having to take photo, scans his post and he scans application forms, etc., and he actually reads them that way. So there are many features, and what I will do is I will find out how to switch that on and give you a step-by-step instruction of how to do that in the follow-up, because I never knew you could do that on an iPhone. Definitely can't do it on a Samsung. So that might be an alternative method to read your post.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Yeah, that went a little bit over my head just because of my technological, deficiencies. But I will definitely look out for that email. And yeah, that sounds interesting. I think also I'm gonna probably give it a try. Yeah, I'm one of those people like to know before I try these things, apps and things. But I'm gonna give that a be my AI. Yeah, I'd be interested to know whether it does color T-shirts with, because I found again with be my volunteers that sometimes they can't quite make out the color for some reason. Like the blue, is it blue or is it a gray? Oh no, it's not a gray, it's a blue. Like just because of lighting. But I wonder whether the AI has better eyesight. So I've got a feeling that might be better when it comes to colors. But yeah, that'll be interesting to find out. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks very much. We've got Intisar hand up. Thanks very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Mark, it's Scott. Sorry, I don't mean to jump in. I've been trying to unmute, but I got locked out with all my technical skills. I don't know where my unmute was. I have used the Be My Eyes AI, and the document orientation is great on it. Because I just hold my phone over the document, and it just reads it no matter where I am. It takes a good picture. If you hold it about 12 inches or above your sheet, it should capture everything. It has for me so far. And even if I have the photo upside down, it knows, and it just takes the photo and then flips it and reads it. So my experience with it is you don't have to do all the extra stuff you used to have to do. I used to start, I think it was top of the page and pull it back towards the middle. So that's my experience with it. I'd give it a go before you get a holder for your phone and all that other stuff.
Thanks very much. And later on, just before we leave this evening, I've got Mark's top tip of how you can create your own screen reader from some household objects, which would where you can utilize your phone, and you can actually put your phone in exactly the right spot to read all of your documentation through, a free app like Seeing AI, or if you use Lookout by Google. So before we actually leave this evening, stick around and I'll share Mark's top tip about how you can make your own in-home screen reader with just a few household. So over to Intisar for his question.
Yeah, evening all. Excuse me. Jonathan, you're wrapping presents in November. You're far too organized for your own good, I think.
Hardly. Different
so
reasons.
the question I had was Be My Eyes and Being My AI. Are these two separate applications?
No, same app. Be My AI is a tab or a function within Be My Eyes.
Right. Okay.
It's a new function that they've released this year. So
okay.
it takes a snapshot of whatever you're pointing your camera, and then it will literally describe whatever's in that snapshot in pretty accurate and it even said our dog was cute. So that is how, it didn't just say a brown and white dog, it said a cute brown and white dog. So it actually knows
okay.
a cute dog and an ugly dog. So
some of the other members, they've talked about how useful it is as a document reader, and especially if it can handle handwriting. I think it's giving the dedicated document readers a run for their money then, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's free as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to download that and give that a try then. Thank you.
And I will say when you open up the app, there are the two choices there, as I mentioned before. It'll say, do you want to call a volunteer or do you want to use Be My Eyes?
Mm.
And there's one, as Harry said that too, there's also another specialized services that you can call them for free, and they'll help you out if you're working on your computer or whatever you're doing. So
okay, sounds
yeah,
good.
and the artificial intelligence has come even in the last month. The colors are getting better. Everything's getting better. The fact that it's now reading my grandmother's recipes that are faded and stuff like that. The technology is fantastic.
Is that handwriting? Is that handwriting you're talking
It
about?
It is handwriting. Yep, from 1958. So,
oh, wow.
you know, so you know, and I've used Seeing AI's handwriting when it was in its infancy, or got a friend to do it, and she was reading World War I letters. He was Welsh, and he was stationed in Western Canada. And the only thing for me was trying to understand the language of the time. So it was reading the words. It's just a whole different English back then. Yeah, you know, but it did read every word, and I could piecemeal where he was and what he was up to. So no, it's fantastic.
And how fast is it at reading?
Well, you can set your speeds on reading, I believe, but for me, I'm not one of these guys that can listen. That some guys, all I hear when they listen is hello, hi Mark.
No, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I meant it's going to take some time to take in the image, then analyze it, and then read it out to you.
It all depends on. Yeah, it takes a few seconds. It'll play some music, and sometimes it'll even say this is taking longer than we anticipated. You know, depending on how long, the details of the documents.
Yeah.
But it's not less than a minute usually, minute or less usually. So
okay,
yeah,
great.
Thanks. We've got Keith with his hand up. Hi, Keith.
Still muted.
And you're muted, Keith.
Nice. He's realised.
All right. Is he on the telephone or is he?
No, he's on the
computer.
There he is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, no worries, Keith.
I'll try and be so quiet. Well, so far, I've listened to what everybody said. They all seem to have iPhones. I've got an Android, a Samsung. To have an iPhone because you can get more apps on it, or is it better to have an Android? Because some of the Androids don't do as much as the iPhone seems to.
They are catching up, Keith. I am actually an Android user. I use both phones, so I'm kind of on the fence, you know. And they are catching up. The Be My Eyes is available on Android via the Play Store. But unfortunately, the Be My AI function is still in its beta testing phase at the moment. But you can still sign up to register to be a beta tester, to give it a try and give your feedback to the Be My Eyes team. I've actually signed up for that list because it's nice for me to try out apps that are available on both platforms, just to see how useful they are. In terms of other apps like Seeing AI, for example, the best one I've found so far for the Android is Lookout by Google. I think it's a fantastic app and that is the one that I actually use all the time compared to some of the other apps you can get for Android. In terms of other speaking accessibility functions, they are catching up. They've got Read Aloud, which is a new function by Google, where you can just say to Google, I'm not going to say it because it'll every single Google function off in my house, but it will actually, all you need to say is read it and it will read whatever's on the screen. So they are catching up. It's taken them a little bit longer than the iPhone, I have to be honest, which I think is quite sad because they've got not only Android on this side, but sort of Google and other functions like Bixby if you've got a Samsung phone, which is another assistant that you can call upon to do other voice commands. And I was having a play around with Bixby as well, but they are kind of on par with each other, but I still think iPhone is tipping the balance when it comes to accessibility. I have to be, and it pains me to say that because I am an Android boy all through and through, and I'll never give up Samsung over iPhone. But from what I've found out with the accessibility features on iPhones, they are really good, but they both have their pros and cons. So stick with your Samsung, and if you need any support with what apps to that you want to use or what accessibility features you want to utilize, and give me a shout, and I'll be more than happy to run through them with you. Oh, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I was just going to comment to Keith. I think you're going to see it earlier than later in the new year on your Samsung. I don't think they'll take too long to catch up. If Mark would do more testing, they'd be that further ahead, but we won't hold Mark for all the responsibility. So, and my daughter has a Samsung and she will never go back to an iPhone. So like Mark says, there's pros and cons to both. So just hang in there and it'll come.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious to see what the Samsung S24 has got to. I've got quite an old phone, so they're always new models are always coming out with new features. I think we just sort of moving forward in this meeting. So excellent.
And just a little tip for everyone: if you take a picture of something or you have old photos that have recipes or whatever, and go to Be My Eyes, or go to the photo actually and share it. And as soon as you share it, you'll get all your share to mail, share to messenger, blah blah. At the very bottom, you'll get Seeing AI. Google, what did you call the Google then, Mark?
Oh, it's good. Look out by Google.
Look up by Google, and right below that is usually the Be My Eyes AI, and that you click on that, and it'll open up, and it'll start scanning the photo and read it to you. So you can do old stuff too, not just new photos or pics.
Excellent. Have we got any more questions or any kind of questions or advice around Be My Eye or any other app that someone might have actually tried out that's very, very similar? Have we got any more questions? No. Cool.
Mark, can I ask another question?
Well, then.
I've got quite an old phone. It's an iPhone 7. It's so old that it's still got the home button at the bottom, at the front. So if I'm going to start using Be My Eyes AI, then would it be worth getting a more powerful phone?
That is entirely up to you. The best thing to do is to try the app out to see whether it is capable of running on your phone. I've got the iPhone 13 Pro. I know that it works quite well on that. If anyone else is using an old device that actually has Be My Eyes and Be My AI installed on it, please weigh in and share your experience to see how sluggish, how slow, how quick it is. But sometimes my Samsung, I've got the S20, it's almost 4 years old. I'm due for an upgrade for that one as well. So it's up to you whether you want a little bit more engine under the bonnet, as it were, when using these new devices. But if anyone is up using an old phone, whether it's an SE or an iPhone 6 or like you've got Intersa 7, then please share your tips and hints and your reviews of what you think it's like.
Mark, go ahead.
Has anyone got their hand up?
Amy.
Amy. Hi, Amy.
Right, I've unmuted. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, my sight's reducing and it's affected by the light. So I've got a problem of degenerative condition it's sort of getting harder. And so I'm just new to all the technology.
Okay.
So my biggest trouble at the moment is traveling. So on and off trains, different stations, different platforms. And I'm just wondering which of this technology might be able to help me, because obviously it's harder to sort of see where signs are. I got lost on Friday in the underground.
You don't need to have degenerative eyesight conditions to get lost on the underground. Sighted people get lost on the underground, so that's nothing to be sort of scared or ashamed of or anything like that. We've all taken the wrong path before. So thanks very much for sharing. We do have some some intrepid travellers with us that are very keen to get around London. I know Scott lives in London as well as some others. We all use the underground, and there are lots of apps. So, like I say, Be My Eyes, the assistive part of it, they will be able to help you with signs. The other thing is the assistive journey. So there is an app where you can ask for support to and from platforms, and that is anywhere, especially with TfL, is anywhere. I've used it at Euston. And they will take you from a lounge to literally to your seat. So don't feel afraid that you can't ask for support. It is there. And what we will do is we'll make sure Scott will probably be able to chip in and tell a little bit more about the app that you can get. You can literally say, I'm going from here to here. I need someone to help me off the train, and I need someone to help me back on another train or get me to the exit. And I know London is an absolute nightmare to travel around in, and fair play to be able to do that, because I still haven't got the confidence to do it yet, and I'm blind myself.
So Amy, are you a white cane user? Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yeah, and it's well, I had my long cane training in the spring, so I'm now very comfortable using it, which is why I thought, oh, I'll be fine. I thought I planned my journey out in advance. I've got enough vision that if I look in the right place, I can manage. But the problem is because it's so restricted. It's like you have to scan everything. You have to look and look and look, and then it's so hard to see signs because they're not always where you expect them to be.
Not to mention the millions of people that cut in front of you and whatnot. So there is a number. I'll give it to Mark.
Amy, I'd like to add something that might help. Even if you don't.
Sorry, Intisar. Scott was just about to share a number. Sorry. Go next.
I'll be quick. I'll try and speak quicker and not monopolize. There is a number for the overground that you can call, and it'll do any of the trains in the London area. And you show up there, and they'll have a person waiting. You can make a reservation. You show up at the. I travel at a Wandsworth town. My white cane mobility instructor, I could get there by myself now. I show up there. Debbie's and thank God the ticket agents are not going. She said, hold on, Scott, Mark will be with you in a second. Walk me up to the platform. They hand me off to the train conductor. They sit me and ask me if I want to stand or sit. They move me or ask me where I'm going, which they already know. And at the other end, I step off the train, or there'll be a person waiting there. They grab me, not typically, I grab their arm. They walk me, in the case of going downtown to King's Cross, over to Vauxhall. I go into TfL on the go, I believe is what it's called. I always forget, on the run. They don't make pre-registrations, but what will happen is the Overland calls to them, can you accept? And there's always a booth at the train stations that's assisted travel. You'll end up there. The overground walks me right to there. They leave their own station. And there they'll say, where are you going? I said, I'm going to King's Cross. Are you transferring to a train, or are you going above ground? I tell them. They arrange at King's Cross. There's somewhere to meet me. It's a handoff the whole way. I've waited 5 minutes once on the platform They positioned me along the wall so there's no danger, and they apologized when they came down. But all of the other 30 runs I've made were seamless, and including at King's Cross once, 2 of them walked me right to where I was going. They took me out of the train. I need a break, and they took me right to where I was going. So I'll send that number to Mark, and the rest is TFL on the go, I believe. You can show up at any underground station and ask for assisted travel, and they'll take care of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
And I know if you are traveling out of London, there are sort of the overground, like West Coast. They've got a fantastic number as well. You know, I used to travel to Milton Keynes, where the head office is. And again, you know, they take you down on the buggy. You didn't have to walk. You know, they chucked me in the buggy, took me straight to the train, and then at the other end, Milton Keynes, they took me straight down to the exit where I waited for my colleagues to meet. So it's like Scott said, it's a seamless process, you know. And you know, if you are going via Avanti West Coast as well, I've got that number, so I can share that as well, just in case anyone is called Birmingham or up to Manchester via Avanti West Coast. Excuse me. So excellent.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Intasar, sorry, you wanted to say.
Well, sorry to interrupt Scott there, but I think Scott said it all really. I've even turned up at a station to do a journey without pre-booking anything or using the phone numbers or the apps, and they're so well trained on TFL now that exactly as Scott described, they will take you through the whole journey, hand you over and make sure that your changeovers are done, and you know, put you in your seat, and you know, there's no problems really.
Yeah, and Amy, further to my point, when the person does take you, you make sure you're comfortable. I'm a right-handed cane user. I always want my cane exposed, or I'll use it as a walking stick, but I like to grab behind the right elbow. Most of them already know how they'll guide you, but if they don't, just don't be shy about it. Said, would you mind if I take your arm, and I prefer being guided this way? And they're all beautiful people. They'll say, oh, sure, how would you like to? So
brilliant. Thank you so much.
And they'll even carry your bags as well. Just off you go with all your luggage on them. You know, they had a massive backpack, and I was like, you don't want to carry that. It's heavy. It's got everything in it, including my laptop. No, don't worry about it. And it's when I gave it to them, I was like, oh God, it is quite heavy. But it's like, no, you've taken it off me now. You know, no, they're amazing.
Yeah.
So,
and they'll ask you for lift preference. Are you comfortable with escalators? Do you mind stairs? And you do what makes you feel the best, and they're real easy about it. So make sure you're comfortable and feel safe.
Thank you.
Excellent. We got hands up?
Yeah, Mahmood next.
Mahmood. Hi, Mahmood. Got a question?
Yeah, just a quick question. Sorry again, I'm not sure if we discussed this last time. I apologize if we have. But you know, I was just wondering, does anyone know about the robotic, I guess this is AI, robotic guide dogs? I heard about that a few years ago, that some company in America was planning this, but then I heard it got delayed. Does anyone know about that? And I was kind of thinking that with AI advancing, that could be like amazing. That could be really, really accurate. Maybe even more accurate than a guide dog, potentially. I don't know. Because apparently guide dogs, I've never had one in my life, but guide dogs apparently can make mistakes. They can have off days and things. So I'm not really a dog. I'm not really a dog person, but I kind of feel like I've got 5% vision now. Hardly any now. I've had RP all my life, but it's gradually got worse. And sometimes I think a guide dog would be great, but I'm just not a dog person, and looking after the dog and feeding and cleaning and all that training. So I'm kind of looking forward to these robotic guide dogs, but I don't know whether it's years away or how long away. I just wonder if anyone knew. That'd be great. Thank you.
The only thing that I've heard of, the CEO of Sight and Sound has visited, I think it was China, but don't quote me, where they are trying to test, you know, sort of AI capabilities in sort of robotic, not necessarily guide dogs, but robotic droids, I do know in Milton Keynes they use AI-assisted droids to deliver post. These little droids that just sort of drive up and down, delivering post. It's incredible. I didn't believe it, until you actually see one, and you're thinking. And during the World Cup, they were actually whistling Three Lions. That's how intuitive these things are. So I don't think it will be very long, and if anybody comes across any articles, doesn't matter how wacky or how weird or out of the box it is, then please let us know. I do know Elon Musk has been trying to invent a droid, and it was the original concept for the autopilot system that has in his Teslas, which was originally going to be in these droids. And I don't know how far into the project he's got with them, but give it 10, 20 years, we know how far advanced technology is advancing now. It won't be long before we will actually have our own, robot guiding us here and there. So who knows? But if anyone does actually come up with anything, please share it with us, for next year,
Thank you, Mark, and I hope it's quicker than 20 years, because the way technology is advancing, in a year,
it could be. It could well be. We've got Jonathan. Jonathan's got a hand up. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Mark. Yeah, actually, listening to the last thing about robotic guide dogs, fantastic. Bring it on. I just wanted to add with Amy, you're getting around. Scott and Mark and Insa are brilliant. You covered just about everything. Just to say, if you're just doing a London Underground journey, there's no planning required. It's called turn up and go. Just get yourself into the tube station, get to somewhere in the area of the turnstiles, and a staff member will generally come up to you and ask you if you need some help and where to go. And then, as Scott and Intezai and Mark all said, they'll then plan it all for you with handoffs. But there's no app, phoning, or anything required if it's just a London Underground journey. I do those all the time, and it's just turn up and make yourself seen.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, thanks for the turn up and go. I can never remember it. I call it everything but.
Any more hands up?
At the moment.
So thanks everyone so far for your questions. And what time are we? How are we doing for time?
5 minutes. Harry just put his hand up.
Oh, Harry's put your hand up. Hi, Harry.
Very, very brief point, just to add to what's been said. I like Jonathan and Scott and everyone else. I use TFL pretty much daily. The one piece of advice is just allow a little extra time, because what they are doing is they're using old-fashioned technology called a telephone to ring through to each station where you've got to do an interchange, and sometimes those guys can be busy and it can take them a while to pick up. So if you've got a meeting and or an appointment, allow yourself some extra time. That's all.
Good advice.
Thanks very much. I think it's 5 to 8, and I just wanted to quickly run through a couple of new bits of tech over the last couple of months. I've actually find out. Obviously, everyone knows, if you are an iPhone user, that the iPhone 15 series was actually launched. I think it was September. I've had a play. Well, tried to have a play of the iPhone 15 Pro that I bought my dad for his for Christmas. He won't let me anywhere near it, which is a shame, because I'd love to actually check out some of the new accessibility functions on it. And also for Android users, the Google Pixel 8 and the Google Pixel 8 Pro was launched on the 12th of October. So if anybody has had chance to have a play with either of those phones, then please drop me an email with what you thought of it, and we'll actually add that into the comments section of our follow-up email. And also for all of your cuisine connoisseurs and people that love to cook, I found out only this week that the people at Cobalt Systems Limited will be getting in a talking air fryer. So people that love to air fry, I know they're the rage at the moment for healthy cooking. There's one that they're actually you can do pre-order sales now on their website, where they'll be getting them in a couple of weeks' time. They're £99.95. So anyone that's looking for some talking appliances for the kitchen and you like to cook, maybe check that out. And if you do end up getting one for Christmas, then please let me know what you think of it and how accessibility friendly it is. And if anyone else has got any new tech that they would like to share for our January meeting next year, then please sort of let me know or drop your tech over and we can hand the mic over to you when we start. Has anybody got any final questions before I share Mark's top tip?
Mark, one further comment from Scott regarding the gentleman with the iPhone 7, I believe it was. Before you, don't get frustrated with Be My Eyes or any of the other apps. Some of them will require iOS 16 or above, because we're already into iOS 17 1.1, I believe. So just if you have problems, find out, get to a tech person or iStore, Apple Store, and see if your app is actually will run with the because I'm not sure. I think 7 now can upgrade the new iOS. I believe is it 8, Mark, now, I believe that
so I'm not sure.
My 10R, yeah, my 10R still I downloaded 17 to it, but I think it's 8 and below. It might be 7s that can upgrade. So sometimes
it's the 10. So you're the oldest one that can upgrade.
Yeah. So my 10R, which is just the one above that, I was able to upgrade. So it'll soon be dead in the water as far as. So some apps will not work. I'm not sure about the Be My Eyes AI. So.
Yeah, it might be worth, so yeah, like Scott said, just going to an Apple store and check with one of the geniuses there, and you know, like let's say it might be time to treat yourself at Christmas to a new iPhone. You know, I really do like the 13. I think that's a nice phone. We've got
Barbara was waiting.
Barbara. So Barbara first. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, just totally at a tangent. I listen to my Audible books on my phone. On a plane, you have to put your airplane mode on, so therefore you can't access the books. Anyone got any solutions, please, as to how I can listen to my books when I'm on a transatlantic or a short haul into Europe flight, please? If you haven't got the answers, sometime.
So that's a very, very good question, because I know airplane mode and talking to your phone when airplane mode is on and trying to talk to your phone and get Siri or Google to do assistive stuff, because both of them require either Wi-Fi. The other thing is, if you're on a long haul flight, they might actually, although you're on airplane mode, they might have their own Wi-Fi. So you might be able to connect to their Wi-Fi and still use the functionality to control your audiobooks that way.
Otherwise, it's a long journey when you can't read it or listen to your book.
Yeah, so I think they must have exceptions when they say. I think sometimes long haul flights, it's put airplane mode on takeoff and landing, and then you can switch airplane mode off while you're in flight. But don't quote me on that, because every airline might be different. And Harry's coming up briefly.
Anytime I've traveled transatlantic, I do put my phone in, or even in Europe, I put my phone on airplane mode, but I've never had a problem listening to my Audible.
Really? Oh.
Yep. You should be able to download the book directly.
Yeah, as long as you're downloaded, as long as you're not streaming.
Well, it has been downloaded, and it still wouldn't access it.
That doesn't sound right.
No, I've never had that problem.
No. Well, I can do some digging for you, Barbara, and to see
that'd be
whether
lovely,
there's something.
Because I mean, I've done it on obviously there and back, and an internal flight in the States, and also just recently to and from Malta, and I got the message that no, you've got to be connected to the obviously to the internet
That strikes me that the book is not properly downloaded and that it's trying to stream it.
What phone do you have, Barbara?
Is it an iPhone 13, something like that?
Okay.
13 Pro.
So next time when you're on a flight, if you can't get it, if the book's been downloaded properly, ask the flight attendant if you can get Wi-Fi. Because my daughter just flew from Canada and she had free Wi-Fi. I'm being yelled at by my wife.
Barbara, one
Airways
tip is,
charge you for it.
yeah, a lot of airlines will charge you. Barbara, one more thing is give it a try at home. Go onto airplane mode once you've downloaded the phone and see if it'll work. If it hasn't, then see if there's some way that you haven't, as Harry said, quite downloaded it properly and it's still trying to stream the book.
No. And I'll have a little play as well because I've got the iPhone 13. So if I'll have a little play as well to see whether I can do the same. So Stanley, one last. Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley muted. Yeah, you need to unmute, Stanley.
How's that?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, right. This is my first time with the group. I'm finding it very interesting. Will I automatically get an email from the January date?
Absolutely, yes, you will. So we'll send a follow-up email with everything that we spoke about, any apps, any websites, any tech, any advice that anyone wants to share. All you need to do is just reply to your invitation email, and that will come through to our events inbox, which I'll pick up. So any feedback or any advice you want to share, that will all come to me, and that will all go in the email as well. And I'll also put the date of the next one. So it'll be a save the date, and then as soon as it's live on our website, I'll send out another invitation, usually 3 to 4 weeks before the meeting.
Okay, that's smashing.
Yeah, so
I'm just recently diagnosed as being visually impaired, so this lot is all new to me.
Okay, excellent. If you need any further support, Stanley, please get in contact with us. I'll give the number. So our helpline is 0300.
Whoa.
Okay.
We can put it in the email.
Yeah, I can put it in the email for you. Yeah, so it's 0300. Yeah. So you can contact us at the office via a helpline, and any of the services, including sort of befriending other peer groups. We've got so many peer groups that are active in and throughout the end of November and December. I'll be here till midnight going through them all. So they will all be listed in.
If it's in the email, that's great because I'm also got dementia.
Okay. Yeah. So no, we'll make sure it's all in there for you. So if there's any other support services you may need or any other links to anything else in our website, then they'll be there for you. And then all you need to do if you want to get in touch for further support, then just let us know. So
okay, thank you.
No worries, Stanley. Scott?
Just further comment to the travel. I was corrected. My daughter joined a points club. So if she uses the same airline, they allow her free Wi-Fi. So if you're flying, transatlantic all the time, see if they have a points club, or just becoming a member sometimes will get your free Wi-Fi. But I would, because you're blind and they're having trouble, I would still talk to the flight attendant. A lot of times they'll just toggle you on, so to speak. It doesn't hurt to ask. The worst they can say is no.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Just very quickly butting in, Mark.
No, sorry.
Guide dogs definitely come up better than robots, even though robots can be good. I'm just laughing because my guide dog is having a most wonderful dream at this end.
At the end of the day, they're just dogs, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Right, before I go, obviously, we've been talking about reading posts. Now, I had about 12 years of posts that I had to go through. We've stockpiled it. I'm sad to say and ashamed to say, and I usually have to rely on Caroline's eyes to be able to go through it. And I thought, well, I don't have thousands of pounds for a screen reader, and I did not want to hold my phone in front of all of this post for hours and hours. So what I did is I got my smartphone, I opened up my app that I use, and it happened to be Google Lookout by Google. And then I've got a desk lamp, one of these big arched ones, that have got like the elbow and the joints on them, big swooping desk lamp. And I've got that I use on my treadmill, my phone. It's one of those messenger phone holders that you put on some handlebars. You can pick them up from Amazon for about 15 quid. And I actually mounted that just in front of the neck of the lamp. And then I clamped my phone to it, opened the app up so it was kind of like on an auto read. So every time you put a paper underneath it, it read out what was underneath it. And then I just pointed it at a document tray, like you get in an office document tray. So every time you put your sheet of paper in, it's always in the right place. And 9 out of 10 times it read out that post beautifully. So literally with just 3 household items, I saved myself nearly £3,000, you know, on making my own reader. So if you've ever got anything laying around, you know, whether it be a desk lamp or anything where you can mount a phone to it, have a go at making your own tech. And I would love to hear what you've made and how it's improved or assisted you in your daily living. So that's just my top tip. So you don't have to spend thousands of pounds. You've already got £1,000 worth of phone. Why not utilize what you've got? Get free apps that are now available on both, you know, your Play Store and your iOS store. So that would be my top tip. I hope everyone has enjoyed Talking Tech. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting.
Mark, before you close, Mark, have you got time for one more question, please?
Yes, certainly, sir. Certainly.
Yeah. So a few months back, I got interested in this phone. I think it was called a Smart View 3 or something like that. And the different thing about this phone was that not only was it a touchscreen smartphone with all the usual facilities and apps you can download onto it, but it also had physical buttons on the phone, which I thought would be incredibly useful. The only thing was that it's an Android phone, and I've got used to the iPhone and the gestures and controls on the iPhone. Now, you've just said that you're very keen on the Android. So do you think the controls and everything are easy to learn on Android?
So I was always favourable to an actual QWERTY keyboard. I like the feel of the keys. Now, with both Android and iPhone now, which I found when using a sort of a screen keyboard, you can actually add vibration and also voice over. So when you depress the key, it vibrates, and it will also tell you what key you press, and also what the word is for spelling. So you can utilize some other accessibility functions with smartphones. One thing to bear in mind with some of these phones that are designed for the visually impaired, be careful, because some of them, and I asked this question about another phone, especially with lots of buttons, is they're not IP rated. So they might be splash proof, or they might be, you know, but if you're out and about and it's raining, the iPhones and the Samsungs are both IP68 rated, which means they can be submerged underwater. So bear in mind, if you're looking for a phone, make sure that it's durable. And if you are out using it to navigate, most of us have our phones out in front of us. If we're using Google Maps or, you know, location to get around, if it's teeming with rain, it will get wet and it might get damaged. That's my only advice when it comes to these phones that have got lots of buttons in them. They might not be waterproof, so check that out.
Okay.
But I'm more than happy to do a review of it. If you want to ping me that model over, I'll get some reviews on it and see how, you know, and some specs for you. Right. More than happy to do that.
I'll double check the name and I'll send it to you. I think it's called a Smart View 3.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I'll be more than happy to do some on that one. So thanks, Intisar. Thank you everybody for your support this year. If you and sort of
Mark,
regular members. It's been my pleasure to host and to have you. I've made some great friends and learned a lot myself. I always like to learn stuff as well as share my knowledge of tech. I am a bit of a tech geek myself. I'd like to say thank you to Caroline, who has been typing away furiously in the comments section. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without her support. And, you know, it's been an absolute pleasure to launch this group, and I hope that it continues into next year. So please keep all of your tech facts, your tips, your hints, your reviews, and your advice into me for next year, because I know there's going to be a world of new tech coming out next year. Lots of things to look forward to. And, you know, it'll be great to share that with you all. So thanks very much.
I wanted to ask a quick question, if that's okay.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
I did put my hand up, but I wasn't sure if I did it right.
Oh, sorry.
No, I think it was waving.
I was waving. Oh, he was waving at us. We thought you were going.
Sorry about that. So my site's starting to get worse, and I went into a couple of the phone shops to ask about, you know, help to getting a new phone, because obviously I want to get an iPhone. But I'm just wondering if anyone knows which phone people would be the best people to ask for help, because when I went into 3 and I went into EE and another one, and they basically expected me to know everything that I needed to want to use, but I don't, because my site's only just started getting worse.
What I found is that if you go to your nearest Apple store or phone them up, you can actually book a session where they will take you through the accessibility aspects of the iPhone.
Yeah, and they'll do that in store as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean, in store.
Yeah, they will, and they'll go through everything for you. It's not a case of it's the phone, you know, buy it, go. They will make sure that it is the right phone for you, and that includes functionality, screen size, you know, and all sorts of other features as well. So if it's an iPhone you want, Interstar's right. That will be the best point. Don't go to EE. All they want to do is to sell you their contract. You want to go and see them.
Thank you.
Tell them that you have no experience with accessibility at all. So you'd like to speak to the person that has the most, and be forward. So you even have to be patient with me, because it is, and some of the stores aren't as good as others. So be wary of that. But I would, in your council, wherever you are, wherever you live, contact your council, because a lot of them will have tech help that will spend an hour with you, or 2 hours, or one a week, and give you some lessons on your phone.
Yeah, thank you.
So, and Mark, I'm going to send the airplane mode article that I forgot that I read this week. It explains airplane mode, what you can do with it, you know, around it. I'll send it to you just so people know to take a look at it.
Scott. Thanks very much for your support, and yeah, thanks to everyone for all your support, all of the feedback that I get after the meeting. Much appreciated from myself, Retina UK, and Caroline as well. Thank you so much. We'll see you next year. We hope you have a safe and enjoyed festival holiday and New Year, and we look forward to seeing you again in 2024. All the best, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
All the best to you.
From Mark and Caroline, good night, evening. Bye.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Good
Bye
night.
now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
That's interesting.
We hope you have enjoyed this recording. If you have any questions, queries, or wish to leave any feedback, then please leave it in the comment section below. Alternatively, you can send your inquiries to info@retinauk.org.uk. Contact us via the telephone on 01280 821 334 or call our helpline on 0300 111 4000, which is open Monday to Friday 9:30 AM to 9:30 PM. If you would like to know more about our local peer groups, when your next meeting will be held, or if you wish to get involved in creating your own group, or would like to know more about our services that Retina UK provides, then please visit our information and support page on our website www.retinauk.org.uk and navigate to our local peer group page. Thanks again for listening. We hope to see you again soon. Take care and bye for now.